Welcome to Angular in 5 minutes. I'm Thiago Passos.
I'm Gabriel George.
And today we're going to talk about HTTP requests in your Angular app.
Yeah.
So the Angular app is all about the client side.
That's true.
Okay, but we still have to do the backend to make requests to an API or to a server or something like that.
Yes.
So how do you make HTTP requests in your Angular app, Gabe?
All right. So Angular has its own implementation of HTTP client, and we can grab that one inside a module called HTTP client module, which we will bring it up on the app module in this case. So I'm going to import it, HTTP client module, which is coming from at Angular common HTTP.
Cool.
And then we're going to import that inside our imports.
So once you import that, then you can use HTTP client wherever you want inside that module.
Yep. So we will use it with the dependency injection.
All right. So can we have a look?
Yep. So in the home component, I'm going to inject that with the name of HTTP.
All right.
And we're going to use HTTP client here.
All right. So for this example, since we don't have an API endpoint right now, we're going to use a JSON placeholder, which is a very handy set of endpoints that we can just try it out.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. So let's get an example from the JSON placeholder, Gabe. Maybe the posts.
All right. So I'm going to use the posts resources.
Okay.
I'm copying the link address. And here, all right, for that purpose, I'm going to create a variable called posts. And to use the HTTP client, now, as you can see, we have several methods available from get, put, post, and delete. And it also have a request, which you can make your own request.
So you can set headers or anything like that as well.
That's correct. So let's just use get in this case. And I'm going to pass the URL that I just copied. Be mindful that Angular HTTP client use observable to return its value.
So we're going to talk about observables later on, but it's basically a pub sub.
Yep.
So you publish and you subscribe. So in this case, we're going to subscribe to an observable, and whenever the value is ready, it's going to trigger that subscription.
That's very true. So to give that example, I'm going to subscribe to it by .subscribe. And here, we're going to pass the value into our local variable, which in this case is posts.
All right, so now it's all about changing the HTML so we can print that list of posts, right?
Yep, that's correct. So I'm going to make a for loop in a paragraph, ng4, and let post of hosts. And using the interpolation, we're going to get the data. I'm going to take the title of a post.
Right, so as soon as you save here, you should be able to see the list of titles, which is pretty handy.
Very handy.
Yeah, pretty easy. But all right, so you have your component, and you're just injecting the HTTP client in your component. That's really not a best practice.
No, it's not.
So what should you do to use a best practice in this case?
So to use a best practice is to move the HTTP client into a service. So to do that, we're going to use our Angular CLI. Use ng generate service. I'm going to call it a host service.
So what we want to achieve here is we want to move that call, instead of having that in the component, we want to move that to the post service.
Yes, that's correct.
So instead of reinjecting the HTTP client, we can inject the post service and just call the method.
Yeah, that's correct. So in the post service, we're going to inject the HTTP client. And let's make a method called getPost, which will call the exact same one. And return it.
That's easy.
That's easy.
All right, so now we're going to replace that HTTP client in the component by the post service.
Yep. So post service, and instead of this HTTP, we're going to remove that and use this post service dot get post. And now once we save it,
It's going to behave the same way.
exactly same way.
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
All right, so that was one more episode of Angular in 5 minutes. I hope you have enjoyed.
And if you like this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.
Cheers.